Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we will be covering the Marvel Legends Bonebreaker wave Sabertooth. I finally have a Sabertooth. If you notice right here, if you could see, on the right-hand side over here, my right, not your right, stage left, if you will, or would it just be regular left? Anyway, I have the astonishing X-Men uh, Wolverine from Toy Biz. I got him because he was like the only the only Toy Biz Wolverine that was out at the time that actually looked very similar to the costume he wore in the 1990s TV show, the X-Men one. It's the yellow and the blue, and that's what I remember about it. It's a sleeker outfit than normal. I actually liked this outfit a lot. I thought the giant X on it was a little weird at his belt, but but we're not talking about him today. We're just mentioning him because that's how long I've been without a Sabertooth. I just couldn't find a Sabertooth with Toy Biz released it, and then I started college and I spent all my time doing college things, and toys just kind of took a back seat. And then one day, Toy Biz didn't even exist, and found out about that. And we're like, what the hell happened? And then discovered that Marvel Legends was gone. I'm like, oh, that's sad. I liked Marvel Legends, and it's cool that they came back with Hasbro, but Hasbro cheapened it just a smidge when you compare the Hasbro stuff to the Toy Biz stuff. There's parts of the Hasbro stuff that's really good, and there's parts of the Toy Biz stuff that's better. Like the Toy Biz usually had articulated fingers. I mean, even him right here, this little bitty Wolverine, his fist can move back and forth. He can it's fists like this, where you have your nice hand fist, and then the four fingers on the front can move up and then down, move up and then down. So he can do like a knuckle strike or something. I don't know, but it's a weird way of doing articulation for that. It's almost as though it wasn't really necessary, but those were the days of the articulation wars. Like everybody was trying to get as much articulation as possible into everything, and they nearly succeeded. Let's get that. There we go. All right, cool. Crap, I don't think I did that right. Anyway, it's always hard to thread Wolverine's claws properly. The plastic on them is really good. Still good to this very day. These things don't bend. These things don't stretch. I don't know what Toy Biz was using, but good grief, Toy Biz was using some good stuff. Okay, now we're just gonna stop fiddling with Wolverine, even though I love fiddling with the Wolverine. We're gonna talk about Sabertooth today because finally got a Sabertooth, and I've got him set up in his come on get me kind of mode. Yeah, Sabertooth, such a dastard. That's truth right there. This guy, he he's got some good parts to him, but in the storyline, Sabertooth is pretty negative. I did like him in Cable versus Deadpool. I thought that was a great Sabertooth. I recommend that comic book series to everyone I meet, because I never had a comic book that made me laugh as much as that one did. Well, maybe Bone. Bone made me laugh like crazy. You stupid rat thing. I love that part. Well, let's get into this guy. I guess first off, we're going to have to mention that if you like this, you hit the like button, and if you have any thoughts on it, you hit comment below. Tell me what you think, and and if you want to subscribe, you happen to be liking a lot of stuff I make, you hit the subscribe button. I won't mind. Thank you so much for doing that. And let's get right into this guy. So I guess first we're going to talk articulation. We do like talking articulation. So we're going to stand him up, and we'll talk about his articulation, and we'll talk about his positives, and we'll talk about his negatives. We'll do articulation, sculpt, positives, and negatives. Yeah, that sounds about right. Or should we do negatives and positives? You know what? We'll just let it happen organically. All right, so I've stood him up. I've stretched him out to his full length. Now let's talk about it. We'll start from the head. His head's on a ball joint, and it's also on another joint, so he can look down decently far, and he can also look up pretty decent. And this is going to allow you to give him those animalistic poses better, because it's Sabertooth. He's an animal. He's an animal pretending to be a human. Where Wolverine's more of a human pretending to be an animal. The So that's his head. His arms have got the typical what we've come to expect from the shoulder joints. There's nothing new there. Biceps swivel, decent bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. Gotta love me some double jointed elbows. And I think they are pinless. I want to say they're pinless, but I'm not 100% sure. He's got a lot of stuff around the elbow that does prevent you from getting a good, clear look with your fingers. But I want to say this is pinless. Um, Come over here to his hand. His hand can spin in its socket, and it can move back and forth on a joint in there, but it's not like on a ball joint. It's not as jointy as the hands on like Toy Biz guy here. No, because the Toy Biz figures move your hand out here. Let's get that set up. Toy Biz hand can move back and forth. It could spin and oh wait, no, okay, it's got all the articulation of a Toy Biz joint. Toy Biz hand. I thought the Toy Biz hands were more articulated. I mean the fingers, but that goes without saying. Wolverine, Wolverine, what are you doing? Wolverine? Oh, you're like spun. Yeah, that's Wolverine's problem. He likes to spin around. It's like his back broke and he just never fixed it. Further talking about joints, so he's got a back and forth movement in the core area, and he does not have butterflies, sadly, which would have been nice for him to have some butterfly jointage going on, but no butterfly. The He does have the back and forth, but it isn't a side to side. It is just a joint that allows his core to crunch forward and backward. He does have a waist that's on a ratchet for some reason, so you can ratchet him around, and that's neat, I guess. It'd be cool if they found a way to hide that a bit more, because that's always my problem with these waists is there's no way to really hide that. You got to give him some clothing, man. Let's get down here to the hips. I'm loving these hips because they have a soft ratchet that allows for very smooth movement. Oh man, I just love the movement on these hips. Like, we compare them to Wolverine here. Wolverine's hip movement is really, you got to be careful because there's so many articulation points in the hips alone, and if you can't see all the little joints, because there's a side to side, there's an up and down, there's also a swivel in there and two swivels in there actually, and none of it's ball joints. So you got to be very careful. You got to line everything up. Wolverine, good grief! Stop it, Wolverine! Stop it! You just keep tumbling, man. All right, Wolverine, you're drunk. Going down further. So that was the hips. I really love how smooth the hip action is here. Uh, just it's so smooth, but yet it's so firm. You can move the leg and it sits, but it's not too much effort to move it. Then we get down here. It's got double jointed knees that actually bend very easily. There's a little toughness in a ratchet, but for the most part, these are very nice knees. We come down to the. He's got a foot swivel. Actually, no. Does he not have a boot swivel? No, he's got a thigh swivel. Okay, so they gave him the swivel at the top of the thigh instead of down at the foot. And they usually give the swivel at the foot, but today they thought they were going to be special. So that's neat, but also means that it's even harder to hide the cut there. They had a nice boot sculpt and everything. They could have given us a cut for a swivel right below the knee, and it would have fit very well with this figure. And yet they gave the swivel cut up here at the thigh, so it cuts through the muscle and doesn't feel right. Oh, my. Perfect opportunity passed up. Oh my god. Let's get down here to the foot. The foot, you can move it back and forth and up and down. Yeah. Now let's talk sculpt work, and of course we'll start from the feet. And this is the best part I like about this guy. Even though the middle of it does feel inwards, you still get sculpted toe action going around the bottom of the feet. Even the individual toes at the front and their claws are sculpted out on the underside. There's that little bit in the middle that they didn't sculpt, but I will forgive them that because everything else here on the bottom of the foot is sculpted. That is excellent. I just wish they had finished sculpting all the way down. And I guess they had to put a place for the emblems and stuff, but that's nice. Come up above his toe. You know what? Just stay down, Wolverine. Just stay down. Above his foot, we've got the toes. He's got 5 toes, or 4 toes and a big toe, and clawed all the crazy, so he could just be like, rah, rah, yeah. He claws things up with his hands and his feet. And we get up, so it's barefoot, but it's covered in hair, or kind of hair, and they just did such a good job. And it's such a large foot. It does help for standing, and we'll talk about that in pros and cons. So we get up here to to his what are those, leg warmer? Yeah, it's a leg warmer. It was right out of the 80s. He's got that little puffy leg warmer thing, and it goes up. It's really hairy. They did a decent job getting all the sculpt work for the hair down. Um, it seems like they just went ahead and copied it over twice. So the other side doesn't have any other type of hair sculpt. It's the same on both sides. Sadly enough, it's just that one is sticking out in a different way than the other one. That's interesting. So one of them has a little bit that comes down below the edge of the foot, but on this side, it doesn't do that too well. But it does that on the inside of the leg. So they literally just made two mirror things and put them on. And I don't even think they're mirror of each other. They're just two things. Going up the leg, we got not much sculpt work here, just some really good muscle sculpt put in here. There's a nice little seam right there that could have been sculpted out, or at least pretended to be more muscle. Maybe they did actually get that seam to be more muscle. It does feel like it. It merges with this with these tendons and stuff on the top of his leg really well. So they did manage that one. And getting up to his groin and butt, his groin, I wish they'd given him something there. Maybe like a furry waistcoat, little furry skirt, something. Get here to his butt. He's got a big old marble butt. Look at that. Look at that bubble butt. He's got a bubble butt. Do you have a bubble butt? Where did you go? Wolverine? Wolverine? You have a bubble butt? You've got a very low intensity bubble butt. Yeah, it's enough. But it ain't the cheek action that we got going on with this guy. No, siree. This guy's butt is big. Now we're gonna go up the back, and we don't get much sculpting, except for some muscle sculpt for this big muscly guy going up the back and the front, both just nothing but muscle sculpt there, nothing special. Then you get around to his shoulder area, and he has this mane of fur that goes around his head and down his sides. And if you remember from the TV show and stuff, he always had that mane of fur that went around his head like a lion. I'm not sure if it was actually coming down from the top of his head and it was just two ponytails he spread over on the front, or if it was literally something that grew from his shoulders and spread down. But that's the case for this guy. He is a beastie. Now let's get over here to his arms, and his arms don't have much sculpting either, except when you get down here to the hands, where they have this really nice hair sculpt right around the arm, the forearm area, and the hands have these really nicely sculpted clawed fingers that are all spread out like he's about to slash. That is really nice. They did a good job on this guy's sculpt, in my opinion. Then we get up here to the face, and he's got, there's his lips. He's got a very hairy face. He's got these nice eyes in there, a decent nose. It's definitely Sabertooth's face right there. Yeah. So that's the sculpt work. All right. So pros and cons. The pros on this guy are, one, his feet are very, very large, which makes it easier to pose him in many different areas because of the largeness of his feet. But like I had him in the beginning, you usually want to scrunch your Sabertooth down by pulling up the legs and bending them like you would with a Spider-Man figure. And then you can have him, being his normal Sabertoothy self, acting like a linebacker from in football or something. It's pretty cool. Let's straighten him out again. So the pros on this dude, other than the awesome feet, is the real smoothness of all the joints on this guy. Nothing's really sticky, but everything, when you move it, it's not loose. So it's easy to move, but none of it's loose, except for maybe the core section, which I don't think they ever get a core section that isn't slightly loose. Everything about this guy is nice. Negatives. Negatives are decision-making process negatives. For one, they could have given him an arm swivel right around where they put this stuff around his forearm. He could have had a forearm swivel there. He could have also had a lower leg swivel on his what is that bone called? Foreleg. I don't know. He could have had a swivel there on the leg at the boot cut, but instead they gave him a swivel at the top of the thigh, which I don't understand. But they did manage to make it where it doesn't interfere with too much muscle work. It's just I think that's a missed opportunity. Is that swivel? Uh, as the figure goes, with all the other the ones I've gotten from the Bonebreaker wave at least, this is my favorite next to Maggot. It's one, it's Sabertooth, one of the best villains in Marvel, because it's just his interaction with Wolverine always great, and finally let me get this going on here, and then bend his legs up like that, all right, and then he can just go and land on top of Sabertooth. Ah! Look at that. I love it. It's just Sabertooth's balance is so great. You could just have Wolverine sitting on his shoulders trying to get Sabertooth, and you can actually bend Sabertooth's arm up and bend his other arm up to grab like his foot. Yeah, can we do that? Can we do that? Yeah, there we go. Grab your foot, grab his foot, grab his foot, grab his foot. There it goes. Yeah, that's right. Break it a bit. There we go. Now that's nice. Yeah, it looks like these guys are definitely about to battle, and that's that moment. I think that upset the weight balance too much. Oh wait, there it is. Look at that. Ah, you like it. I like the Sabertooth. Ah, nuts. The Sabertooth is very excellently built, and you can do a lot with him. And with a little sticky tack on his feet, you can really get some nice poses, because when Sabertooth and Wolverine battled, those were always some really great scenes. And it's just, either of them could be flying all over the place. They had the best battles in the comics, and in the TV show too. It's just they're always flinging each other all over the place, and because they both have healing factors, they don't care if they get hurt. So you just can get a lot of cool scenes. But I've talked your ear off long enough today. Thank you for watching, and please tune into my channel tomorrow. We will be starting the series on, I want to say it's Dead End, from the no, from the Stunticons. I got him in the mail a few weeks ago, and we'll be talking about him. And that leaves just one more down. I think Breakdown is the last one. Either Breakdown's the last one or Dead End's the last one. I'm going to be talking about it tomorrow. I will definitely know the name tomorrow when I begin the video. That's for sure. Thanks for watching, and like I said before, please tune in next time, where we raise awareness for the blind through all alternative means and methods. Until next time, bye bye.